Cathy, how are you?
Well, thanks, Raina. How are you?
Good. Cathy, I'm so grateful you've taken time off to come on this podcast series with us on your day off. So we are very grateful. I know that you've got some valuable experience to share, first-hand experiences, lots of suggestions. And what I do like about you as not just a client, but um, as someone that's in a role of a human resources function is your genuine personality to really care about people and the fact that you really love just people being cared for, and you've got that you have that personality where people can come to you and talk to you. So I think you've got a lot of valuable suggestions which we'd like to hear about today. So just a little bit of an introduction about Cathy. Cathy is a human resources professional. She's got a very strong payroll background. Her role requires her to do a lot of the recruitment, the onboarding, the training, the engagement within the office, and it can be quite a challenging role for human resources and talent acquisition specialist. So it's really important that we understand what their suggestions are and how they believe businesses can operate with more efficiency. So thank you, Cathy, for giving us the time to share this. Cathy, if you just want to share a little bit about your background, your current role, what excites you about being in the human resources function, that'll be great.
Well, I've been in the managerial space for quite a number of years, payroll predominantly, but also managerial, running a whole department. And people, it can be quite challenging at times. In the HR perspective, I've recently just taken on that role entirely. The thing I enjoy most about the human resource function is the engagement with the people, with the team. I like to be an open person that anyone can come and speak to me about anything and know that I will help. And if it's confidential, it'll only stay confidential. I really love that aspect of it, and I love helping people. I do also like the performance management side, helping the line managers understand the steps they need to take to performance manage someone in an appropriate manner.
Yeah. I think your role in human resources and managerial roles in general can be quite the counselor, and it can be, there's a lot of patience, a lot of composure needed, a lot of your energy and time on a daily basis being pulled into different directions. So I think it's quite timely that we talk to human resources professionals and managers like yourself about suggestions. So I mean, Cathy, you just want to share a little bit about how important it is to keep employees striving rather than just surviving, because there's a paycheck, but there's a lot beyond the paycheck, right? So what are your suggestions around how businesses can do that better?
What I think potentially in some businesses could be lacking and what needs to improve is team member engagement, communication with them. Let them know if they're doing a good job. Let them know if they're not doing a job, all in a professional manner. Also, I think what is very important is treating the employee with respect. And I think sometimes, I know everyone's got deadlines and I know everyone's got KPIs, but that team member might be going through something that we don't know. So they could be having an off day. They have to be a little bit mindful of that, I think.
Yep.
So I just think communication is a big part. And I think for me, if the line managers actually acknowledged and appreciated their team, they would get a lot more out of them. And I've seen it because it's happened to me and I've seen it. So, yeah.
Okay. So when you say appreciation, what are the three things you think line managers can be doing to appreciate their staff more?
Well, I'm not saying every day, but maybe at the end of the week, hey guys, you've done a great job. Give them an hour, half an hour early mark if it's all quiet, if they've got all their work done. Or guys, great job. I'll buy you a coffee today. Just a little bit of appreciation like that, I think goes a long way.
I agree. And I think that's the basics of leadership. But I think businesses tend to get so busy with the core of the KPIs and the targets and just the business core in itself, like with regards to ROI and return on investment. And
Yeah.
I'm sometimes guilty of that as well with my team, right? Like I get so busy with just the business arm, and then it's that little soft stuff that really matters.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right there. So Cathy, can you share with me, because obviously it's so important, because you, as the core HR manager, where you're managing different departments, like you're the one human resources individual across the business. You've got marketing, you've got sales, you've got operations, you've got IT, you've got admin, right? So what do you feel are the challenges when it comes to communication? And because each department could be speaking their own language, right? And how do you feel businesses can be communicating more effectively to get a better outcome?
Look, again, I bring it back. I bring it back to the line managers. I just think because they do work, some of them do work in silos, and they keep to themselves, or they like to blame another department. No, it's not me, it was that department. I just think if they took the time and they spoke to one another, issues could be resolved and nobody would get upset, and we wouldn't be having an issue, someone coming to HR saying, well, hey, I've just got yelled at and I didn't do anything. I think for me, in my experience in the business I'm at the moment, there is a lack of communication in the whole of the team. So I still push back. It's got to be the line managers that. And to be fair, that I think line managers need to do leadership courses on how to manage people and how to have difficult conversations and how to treat people.
Okay. So you suggest, in terms of communication, businesses, can be investing more in their leaders to improve their mindset as leaders, help them with their communication, help them with understanding how to be better leaders, and then not working in silos based on that, so then they can get better outcomes. Yeah.
Correct.
I think a lot of businesses put a lot of individuals in leadership roles, but they could be really great in a particular role, but they may not necessarily be the best leaders, right?
Correct.
So from a recruitment perspective, it's about getting the basics right from that perspective. So what do you feel businesses, or in terms of suggestions, how do you feel businesses should make hiring decisions to hire leaders?
I think it should be, first port of contact is your HR. They go and recruit, pull out the best resumes, you have the conversation with them, you line up interviews then with the line managers, see how it goes. Then I believe it should be a second interview with maybe a panel. When I say a panel, it might be one or two people to sit there and ask different questions, and you can get a better feel for prospective candidate that way. That's what I think. And that's what we've been doing, and it's working better. We're getting a little bit better quality of candidates than we were.
Talent, yeah. So the HR manager does the initial screen.
Correct.
And then the second interview, which is a panel interview.
Yes.
The third interview is a final interview.
Final.
Do you feel leaders should do assessments like psychometric assessments and things like that, or?
That would help. That would help. We don't do it. I mean, I've not done it here in this role, but in my other role, yes, we do. We were doing it, and it is very helpful. So that's a good suggestion to have.
So Cathy, what do you feel I mean, there's so many human resources professionals. There's talent acquisition, there's HR administrators. They're pretty much the heart of the organization because they put all their time in making sure that people, employees within the business are engaged, they're the counselors of the business. They're the ones that create, help build the culture. What do you think is important for those individuals and someone like yourself to be successful and have better outcomes and be able to do your job really well? What are the 3 things you need from businesses or people within those roles need from businesses?
I think follow through and respect from the leadership team to initiate processes and see them through.
Yes.
Autonomy to get the job done professionally and on time, and support from the leadership team.
Yeah. And I think from the senior leaders, like from the CEOs and managing directors, right? Just having that constant support can really be so important to help individuals in those roles really succeed. But look, I'm really grateful that you've been able to share that because there's some really good suggestions there. I think you'll connect with a lot of human resources professionals, payroll managers, and because that's quite a tedious role as well. You'll also connect with talent acquisition managers because you've got some really good suggestions. So I do appreciate you sharing those. Is there anything else you'd like to add in today's interview, Cathy?
I think that HR professionals should be a little bit more acknowledged because it is a very tough role and it does take a lot out of you by the end of the day. So I do believe that role should be a little bit more, the word I'm looking for, appreciated, exactly, because that role kind of like holds the team and tries and is culture driven, and it'd be good if it was a little bit more appreciated because it as I said before, it does exhaust you.
It does. I think you've got only so much energy in the day, and how do you keep your cup full when everyone's drinking off it, but you don't have anywhere to drink, right? Because that's your role. Because it's quite a lonely role if you're pretty much the only person in that function. So I think that's another challenge. Is it's a role in itself, but you're pretty much there to support the entire business. And every bit of energy you've got is to give.
Yes.
Because you're all about keeping the people engaged and providing the support and creating the culture, and it's a challenging role. So no, I think that's some really that's a very, very good point there, Cathy. Thank you again so much for taking the time, and I'm sure you'll connect with a lot of human resources professionals and talent acquisition managers that are in roles that are autonomous roles by themselves, because there are most businesses that operate within the 80 to 100 employee mark, like medium-sized businesses. They tend to have one person in the role, but they don't realize how much there is to do in that role. So
it can be challenging. It can be very challenging.
100%.
Yeah. And I think we've just got to realise as HR professionals, we can only take so much on board.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
No, thank you again, Cathy. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. It's always been a pleasure working with you. You follow through on everything. You are so efficient. Everyone that's had dealings with you that we've placed within your organization have spoken so highly of you, and they've all sent you some really lovely messages as well. So thank you for making an impact in people's lives.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Cathy.